Hi friends, this is Miss C, and thank you for joining me today. We will be working on our fluency lesson.
Materials.
You will need your thinking cap for this lesson today. Ready? We have 2 learning targets for today. Please follow along with me as I read. The first learning target is, I can identify the correct homophone, weak or weak, based on meaning and context. The second learning target is, I can read a text fluently, smoothly, with expression and meaning, rereading and self-correcting when necessary.
Transition song.
Can you tell the difference, the difference, the difference? Can you tell the difference when 2 words sound the same?
Word work.
Listen carefully as I read this sentence aloud. There are 2 words that sound exactly the same, but are spelled differently. Listen closely. Last week, Sam went to the doctor because he was feeling weak and had a sore throat. What words did you hear that sound exactly the same? Weak and weak sound the exact same, but they are spelled differently. Remember, words like this are called homophones. Homophones have the same sounds, but different spellings. Let's take a look. Week spelled with 2 E's in the middle means a group of 7 days. For example, my favorite day of the week is Friday. What does this week mean? Weak spelled with EA in the middle is the opposite of strong, like this sentence. He was too weak to open the jar, so I helped. All right, here comes the challenge. You are going to decide which week goes in the blank. Ready? I felt blank after running a marathon. Can we visit Grandma next blank? Let's look at that first blank. Which week do you think belongs in the first blank? The first blank seems to be about someone who just used up all of their energy and their muscles are exhausted. Which week do you think makes the most sense there? We would choose WEAK to go in the first blank. Let's look at the next blank. Can we visit Grandma next blank? It sounds like it's talking about days. So which week do you think would belong in that blank? WEEK. Nice work, friends. Keep up the great work.
Transition song.
Can you read this fluently, smoothly, with expression, please? Can you read it smoothly with expression and meaning?
Fluency.
Now I'm going to read a part from Grandma's Magic Attic. Listen closely to how I read. Grandma, can Pat and I go up in the attic? James asks his grandma, I want to see if we have any old stuff we can donate to the high school. Did I sound like I was reading smoothly? With expression? With meaning? Was I reading at just the right speed? No, that was not reading with fluency at all. Make sure when you read with fluency that we're doing all of those things on that list to make sure people can understand us and we're very clear. Let me try it again. Grandma, can Pat and I go up in the attic? James asked his grandma. I want to see if we have any old stuff we can donate to the high school. I think that was much better. Did you hear how I added expression and meaning by paying attention to punctuation? Did you notice that my speed was just right and I was much smoother? To read with fluency takes a lot of practice, but we got this, and I want you to read the rest of the text fluently with me. Ready? The door might be locked. Let me check, said Grandma. What kinds of things do they want? She asked. Old clothes and books. I think anything you can use in your house, too, said James. Grandma unlocked the attic door. The stairs creaked as Grandma, James, and Pat walked up. A clock! Tick-tock, tick-tock. Pat pointed to an old clock in the corner of the attic. I don't think that clock ticks or tocks anymore, Pat, Grandma said with a smile. They started to unpack some of the boxes of clothes. James and Pat played dress up. James wore an old cloak with a hood that covered his face. Pat wore many necklaces and a purple dress. What's that thing? Asked James. He pointed to a strange box. It had a black circle on top of it and a stick that hung over the circle. The stick looked like it had a needle at the end. That's a record player. It plays music, said Grandma. She picked up a thin square and blew dust off it. She pulled out a shiny black circle and put it on the record player. The circle started to spin and the needle came down. It began to play music. A long time ago, this is how we played music. Grandpa and I used to dance to this song. Let's dance like Grandma and Grandpa, said James. They all laughed and danced together to the music. I think your attic is magic, Grandma, said Pat. Grandma smiled and gave Pat a peck on the cheek. It's not quite magic, but it does make me feel like I've gone back in time for a little while, said Grandma.
Closing reflection.
What does it look like or sound like to be a proficient reader? Reading smoothly with expression and meaning and at just the right speed. That's reading with fluency. Remember to practice what we did today when you are reading on your own. Keep up the great work, keep reading, and I'll see you next time.